So, 50 years, eh? It's hard to sort of get one's mind around it. There's many people here weren't even born 50 years ago, and then many people were extremely young 50 years ago, but yeah, just to have spent 50 years of my life, which was not my plan. It wasn't my plan to be 50 years as a Buddhist monk. In fact, I didn't have much of a plan, but was fortunate enough to stumble into Buddhist monasteries and come across good teachers and to have good guiding elders to be an example for me on this path. And so that I think that's something that we all need to try to create, and certainly the coming to a good monastery, coming to good places of practice, and meeting people who are sincere and are committed to training is such an important aspect of this human life, and being able to develop a human life into something more than, because the human life is also just being born and then dying, which is pretty humdrum. But there is this opportunity for living a life of real skillfulness and beauty, and being able to be of great benefit to each other as human beings. So I think it's a really beautiful aspiration to do that, and then developing these the idea to make determinations, and in Pali, adhitanas, determinations, resolutions to dedicate some part of practice, some part of training, some part of commitment for my benefit is extremely beautiful. And it's a, for me, of course, it's very, very moving and touching. But also, I think for, say, each and one of you, it's also, I think a great inspiration to be making that because we do have to make an extra commitment. The unfortunate reality of human life and the human mind is that it's, oftentimes it's like water that loves to run downhill, and it's hard. You got to put some effort in to get it to go uphill, which is why we've got a great sources of water here, because we've got it all uphill, and it flows down very easily. Trying to the reality is whenever our leach field fails, we're going to have to be pushing up stuff uphill, which is going to be a real problem. We'll have to figure that out when the time comes. But that just that sense of just the reality of habits and conditioning tends to lead us into ways that aren't so helpful, and to making determinations and drawing close to others who have that determination and have that commitment is such an important part of living a meaningful life. And it's not sort of just getting what you want or getting praise and convenience and comfort in life. It's finding ways to really develop the sort of what are, say, like an adhitthana, determination, it's a parami. And paramis are skillful qualities, wholesome qualities, that just in the root of the word parami means that something that gives the strength for helping to cross over. And crossing over from confusion to clarity, crossing over from say, suffering to happiness, crossing over from suffering to peace, crossing over from confusion to understanding. It requires a kind of a bharami. And so adhitthana is one of the bharami. Generosity is one of the bharamis, which in abundant display. People's generosity is, I mean, just the fact that Abhayagiri exists, it exists, and that we as a sangha exist, because it's built on the generosity of other people. We don't have anything, but all of everything that you see here, when we first came, it was just an old kind of crappy house, and an even worse garage, and that's all we had. But everything that you see here is manifested through people's generosity and commitment, and it takes many, many, many people to create a monastery, and it requires the qualities of generosity, of commitment, dedication, of effort, virya bharami, the bharami of effort, putting forth effort, which is sometimes it's important to recognize that effort is not effort is not necessarily measured in how frantic you display yourself. Effort is much more display, and it's in the actual definition of how the Buddha defines right effort. It's what is it that increases wholesome qualities and decreases unwholesome qualities. And so that sense of what can we be doing that we can be putting effort into that helps to increase our wholesome, our skillful, beneficial human qualities, and to decrease the unskillful, the unbeneficial, and that so that putting in effort, having that commitment to putting forth effort, and commitment to virtue. Sila is a bharami. Commitment to integrity, that sense of there is right, there is wrong, there is good, there is bad, there is the wholesome, there is the unwholesome, and to making that commitment to it without getting too righteous about it, without getting too on one's high horse about it, or too worried and fearful about it, because people do take, say, virtue and integrity and create all sorts of suffering with it, or use it as a club against themselves or others. But virtue and integrity, when lived, is something that is part of what the Buddha says is like mahadana, great generosity, because it's like if sometimes we think of say generosity and giving and something great, a great giving, and then it's sort of like the kind of it's like some sort of ostentatious display, but what the Buddha says is really, really mahadana, really great giving, is not killing, not stealing, not committing sexual misconduct, not lying, not taking intoxicants. It's these 5 precepts, which are, really the monastic life is a extrapolation on those fundamental precepts, but it's when it's based on that sense of giving oneself to virtue and integrity, and then being a one who lives it, then also gives what the Buddha says it is a giving of kindness and compassion to others, because you're giving trust and lack of fear, because this, very much a part of this human realm is very much, it's we've got animal bodies, and the animal realm lives in fear. It's not a incredibly comfortable realm, and so that being able to not dwell in fear, or to dwell in non-fear, dwell in a sense of trust with each other is an incredible gift. And so that's why I say coming to a monastery or a good monastery, a good place of practice, is you enter into the space and you feel a sense of ease, because it's a place where you feel a sense of trust with. You might not know each other, you might not even like each other, but you can trust each other, and that's an incredible gift. So that to be able to recognize that these commitments, these determinations are of great benefits, and a great offering on a day like today, because say I would not be here today if I hadn't sort of exercised at least a bit of commitment. and I think you don't make it this far just by hanging on. So it's that sense of so it's having given because the reason why there is a commitment, because also I see the fruits of the practice, that drawing close to Buddha Dhamma Sangha as refuge, living a life of practice, living a life of cultivation of the wholesome qualities is really a source of happiness and peace and real deep well-being. So that it's something that is certainly for myself, I see the fruits of practice. The reviews seem to be in that other people see the benefits of my practice, and it's an incredibly heartening and humbling and moving to see just the fact that people, that anybody showed up today is and so many people showed up. It's just is it's very, very moving, and so that knowing that that our life affects each other, and to have that determination to live in a way where you're trying to create a beneficial effect for yourself, because we're the first people that experience the fruits of our actions, and to create that sense of benefit for oneself. It's in that sense of, when you bring up a thought of loving kindness, the first person who experiences that is yourself. You bring up a thought of resentment and anger, you're the first person to experience the fruits of that. So it's that, and then as you recognize that, and you say, well, which feels better? and of course it's that sense of the developing the wholesome, the skillful, the good, the peaceful, the wise is what is of benefit to oneself, and then it inevitably benefits others. It's just of great, tremendous benefit to other human beings, and it's so today is a day of honoring me, but it's also an opportunity for honoring yourselves, each and every one of you. The monastics and the lay community all have a commitment to this living with a refuge, and it's something to be really delighted in and acknowledge, recognize. So I just really want to say that, and yeah, and also for myself, I mean, I think my own commitment to this path is really based on, of course, first and foremost, the Buddha. And it's the Buddha sort of lit the way for all of us, and then the reality that his teachings and training have been passed on for so long, and that you realize, well, yeah, this teaching and training can be passed on. And it needs to be passed on. So then that's all of us can be a part of that. And then, yeah, my own incredible good fortune of meeting Ajahn Chah. I think I mentioned it in a talk a while ago, months ago, where I was earlier last year, 2023, my mom came here. She came here in April for Songkran, and she was still young then, not yet a centenarian. She was only 99 then. But then she said, I'm cleaning up things at home and getting rid of all sorts of stuff, and I've got I got this box of letters and communication that you sent back to us, like to the family, while I was away, when I was traveling as a layperson and then as a monk, which I had no idea that she'd kept everything, and she did. She had a big box of all the letters I'd written and all the things that I'd sent as gifts back. Like there was one of the things was 3 boxes of slides with really, really good photos of life at Wat Pah Nanachat in 1976. And in that letter I was explaining the different people that were there, and then I was also kind of broaching the subject that I wasn't coming home. Or I wasn't coming home soon. I didn't say I was going to ordain for 50 years, but I said I felt I needed to stay longer and really explore this because it's of such benefit, and I was also saying that I met a really exceptional teacher who is just is peaceful. He's solid. He's an incredible example. And if by staying here I can become a bit more like him, I need to stay here. And so then that was, of course, that was that commitment to trying to follow the example of Ajahn Chah, and of course then the association with Ajahn Sumedho over the years, and the association with some of the great teachers of Ajahn Chah, Luang Por Pasanno, there is hope that we'll actually get Luang Por Pasanno here this year for a visit. We'll see. He has not said no. You're never going to pin him down to say yes and give dates when he's going to actually show up. But that's a huge, just to say, he hasn't said no. And then other great teachers of Ajahn Chah who have passed away. Luang Por Pasanno, Luang Por Pasanno were great mentors to me. I was had the good fortune of meeting some of the great teachers and forest masters in Thailand. Luang Dhamma Habua, Luang Por Dun, these sort of monks that their teachings have been translated into English. Luang Por Buddhadasa. And, in those days, you sort of, you don't realize the significance of it. And I look back now from my, say, 50 years of being a monk, and it's sort of, boy, did I hit the jackpot? Just being able to stumble into a place where these great teachers and teachings are available and freely given, is because Thailand is this extremely welcoming society, culture, and living, because it's almost 50 years that Wat Nanachat has been established in northeast Thailand and Ubon province, and it's just it's a backwater by Thai standards, but it's a kind of like a powerhouse place for really committed practice of Buddhism with so many monasteries and teachers. So that just being supported by Thai society and culture for so long. I lived in Thailand for 23 years, which was a decent chunk of my life, and still I go back every year because I feel such a connection and commitment to maintaining that connection. That's so just I'd like to kind of wrap it up and just express my appreciation for everybody's participation today, coming today. It's extremely inspiring to see people. It's the middle of the week, and to come for this occasion, both touching and moving, and my great gratitude to the Sangha here, with Ajahn Yaniko as the leading up the community, and all of the community members. It's kind of an honor for me to be able to live with such committed people to Dhamma. And so again, I express appreciation to all of your practice and all of your commitment. It is truly a blessing for the world.